Hey guys, it's Kara from the Foodie Dietitian, and you are watching the second episode of What's in My CSA Box, where each week we uncover what beautiful produce lies in this here box. So let's see what we've got inside. First up, we've got spring onions. So spring onions are basically just a younger, mellower version of your regular old onion. My favorite, absolute favorite way to use spring onions is to put them on the grill and then dip them in romesco sauce. It is delicious. You can also use spring onions in a variety of ways. Not only can you grill them, you can saute them, you can slice them and marinate them. You can make baked onion rings out of them. Or they also work really nicely in soups. You can puree them in soups. You can also use them in quiches and tarts and things like that. The great thing about spring onions is that they're packed with nutrients. Spring onions are high in vitamin C, and they're also loaded with antioxidants that help protect your cells from damage and may potentially help protect you from chronic diseases. Let's see what else we've got in here. Well, we've got some lettuce. Now each week I'm only going to talk about the vegetables that we haven't covered in weeks past. That way you're not getting the same old spiel from me every week. Oh, hello, veggie overload. We've got some gorgeous baby carrots. How adorable are these? Love them. We talked about carrots last week, remember? Great source of beta-carotene. We've got more kale. This seems to be a trend in the CSA this summer. Kale every single week. We talked about kale last week. And we've got fresh parsley this week. Love parsley. So parsley is nutritious. I know we don't always think of herbs as being good for us, but they really are. Herbs are loaded with antioxidants, just like our fruits and veggies are. Parsley in particular contains antioxidants. It's also high in vitamins A, C, and K. And there's two different types of parsley. There's curly parsley and flat leaf parsley, also known as Italian parsley. And this is flat leaf parsley. And parsley works really great in pasta dishes, with chicken or fish, and it also works really nicely in soups and stews. All right, next up we've got beets. I love beets. So, ever notice the beautiful color of beets? The color is actually a pigment called betalain. And a betalain is actually a type of antioxidant that's been shown to help reduce inflammation. So beets are a great source of these antioxidants, betalains. They're also a really great source of potassium. And potassium is really important for heart health and for keeping your blood pressure in check. So some ways that I like to use beets in the kitchen, I always try to roast them, and then I'll sometimes pickle them. I'll throw them into a salad perhaps, a green salad, or I recently made a farro salad with roasted beets and beet greens. You can actually eat the beet greens. They are edible. And when I made that farro salad, I just quickly blanched the beet greens. And just included them in the farro salad with some goat cheese and walnuts and a vinaigrette dressing along with those roasted beets. And it was really delicious. We actually packed it in a mason jar and took it with us for a 4th of July picnic. So really easy to transport. You could easily pack it in a mason jar for lunch and bring it for lunch at work. You can also use a mandolin slicer and slice beets super thinly, and then put them in the oven, roast them, and do a little olive oil and salt on top, and you can make beet chips. How delicious is that? The other way that I think is really cool to use beets and is really tasty is to make them into juices and smoothies. There's nothing like a red velvet smoothie that looks super vibrant and is loaded with nutrients and tastes really, really good. All right. Oh, next up we've got zucchini. So last week we talked about summer squash, and zucchini is a type of summer squash. It's high in vitamins A, C, and also B vitamins. As I said last week, I'm not the biggest fan of summer squash, and that includes zucchini, unfortunately. But zucchini's great on the grill. It's great sauteed. You can even roast it. One of the ways that I like using zucchini, since I'm not the biggest fan of its taste, is shredding it, and then including zucchini shreds and things like tacos or quesadillas. I like to make a taco mix with beans, onions, some shredded zucchini, shredded summer squash, tomatoes, and you mix it all together, and it makes this delicious bean and veggie taco mix. And I also love to bake with zucchini. There's nothing like a warm slice of zucchini bread fresh out the oven. You can also put zucchinis into muffins, cakes, cupcakes, you name it. Least, we've got kohlrabi. I haven't had kohlrabi this summer yet, so I'm super psyched to cook with it. It's been a while since I've cooked with kohlrabi, actually. It's probably been maybe a couple years since my last CSA. Kohlrabi is awesome. It comes in different varieties. As you can see, this is purple kohlrabi. But kohlrabi comes from the brassica family, just like our friends, the cabbages, the radishes. We talked about that last week. These are the types of vegetables that contain a lot of antioxidants that are helpful to ward off cancers and chronic diseases. And kohlrabi is similar to a turnip in terms of the look and also taste, only kohlrabi is a little milder and sweeter than the turnip. Kohlrabi is really nutritious for you. It's really high in vitamin K, and it's also loaded with vitamin C. Believe it or not, kohlrabi has more vitamin C than strawberries and orange juice. Who would have thought? It's also packed with fiber and water, so you can be sure that kohlrabi will fill you up. Alright, so how the heck do you cook with this stuff? Kohlrabi is great that it has such a mild flavor that you can actually eat it raw. You just want to slice it thinly, and then you can serve it with maybe a yogurt dip, and it's delicious. You can also roast kohlrabi, you can puree it into soups, you could even shred it to make fritters or cake. Kohlrabi also pairs really nicely with Indian spices, and you can use it raw in salads and even make a kohlrabi slaw. Well, that's all we've got for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all about the vegetables we talked about today, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And I'll catch you next time on What's in My CSA Box.